Previously, I have discussed about the Mesopotamian civilization. Okay. Today, I will discuss about the exercise of the civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, as our Mesopotamian civilization has been completed the day before. Okay. First question, exercise. What's the exercise? First question. Answer the following questions. First question, first one is name the three civilizations that rose and fell in the Mesopotamian Valley. Name the three civilizations that rose and fell in the Mesopotamian Valley. They are Babylon. They are the name of the three civilizations that rose and fell in the Mesopotamian Valley are Babylon, Assyrian, and Akkadian. Okay. What is the name of the three civilizations are that civilization that rose and fell in the Mesopotamian Valley are Babylon, Assyrian, and Akkadian. Next question. Why is Mesopotamia known as the cradle of civilization? Previously, I have said that Mesopotamian civilization is known as cradle of civilization. And why? I have said previously to time of teaching. Mesopotamia is known as the cradle of civilization because it not only gave rise to the first civilization, it not only gave rise to the first civilization of the world, but also saw the rise and fall of other civilizations like the Babylonian, Assyrian, and Akkadian. Okay, so it is not gave rise to the first civilization of the world, but it also saw the rise and fall of other civilizations like Babylon, Assyrian, and Akkadian. Okay. Then next question. Explain briefly the three main divisions of the Mesopotamian society. What is the three? How many divisions? Main divisions of the Mesopotamian society. That the Mesopotamian society was divided into three classes. These are upper class. Upper class included upper class, the rulers and kings, the family members, priests, and higher officials belong to the upper class of this society. First upper class is the rulers of king, the family members, priests, and a high official belong to the upper class of the society. Middle class is merchants, farmers, and artisans belong to the middle class of society. And lower class. First is upper class. These are included in upper class, middle class, lower class. Lower class slaves belong to the lowest class. Who are belong to the lowest class? Slaves belong to the lowest class. Okay. Next I will discuss next question. I will say, which occupations did the Mesopotamian pursue? Which occupations did the Mesopotamian pursue? One is cultivation. Second is domestication of animals. Third is art and craft. Okay. If the question asks for in 1 or 2 marks, you will write here agriculture. These are the three main occupations. Three occupations are agriculture, domestication of animals, art and craft. If the question is 1 or 2, there are no necessity to discuss about this. But if the question give us for 4 or 5 marks, then we have to discuss about these points. About these 3 points. Agriculture. What is agriculture? Agriculture was the main occupation. Question can say that what was the main occupation of this of the Mesopotamian civilization. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people of the Mesopotamian civilization. Next, I have explained about this. I will explain these occupations. Okay. Next, the Mesopotamian people developed an excellent system of irrigation. The Euphrates and the Tigris river were their main source of water supply. The main river was the Mesopotamian civilization, Euphrates and the Tigris. I hope you know. These rivers are their main source of water supply. They help to water supply for irrigation, cultivation, etc. Okay, dikes. Dikes were built to control the flood from the rivers. Okay, dikes में जाके बांग्ला में बोले बांध. Okay, to increase agriculture, the Mesopotamian invented the ox-drawn plough. They also invented wheeled cart for transportation of goods. The Mesopotamians are believed the first to cultivate wheat. Which things? Wheat. They also grew barley, fruits, and pulses. Okay, this is the one point. We'll have explained the agriculture. Second point will be domestication of animals. People domesticated animals like cows, goats, sheep, and donkeys. Sheep, not a sheep. Singular, plural, both. Cows, goats, sheep, and donkeys. Which animals are be democrated by these people? They are democrated animal like cows, goats, sheep, and donkeys. Next question is art and craft. Next part is art and craft. With a stable food supply through agriculture, people were able to engage themselves in other activities too. They acquired specialized things in pottery, weaving, and metal work, bleaching, dyeing, preparation of paints, the cosmetics. You know the what cosmetics were then available there, and perfumes. You have used perfumes if you go to any ceremony hall and others hall and to your relatives home. Use perfume. That's perfumes were also carried out. Okay, which are bleaching, dyeing, preparation of paints, cosmetics, and perfumes were also carried out. Okay, next question. How do we know that the Mesopotamians had trade links with the people of Indus Valley? Mesopotamian had trade relation with the contemporary Harappan civilization, as Mesopotamian cells have been discovered at some Indus Valley sites. How do we know that Mesopotamia has a trade links with the people of Indus Valley? Mesopotamia had trade relation with the contemporary Harappan civilization, as Mesopotamian cells have been discovered at some Indus Valley sites. Number 6 question. What were the chief items of export and import in Mesopotamian civilization? The chief export were food grains and finished products. These chief imports were stone, timber, and metal ores. The chief export, which things? The chief exports were food grains and finished products, and the chief imports were stone, timber, and metal ores. Okay, is it clear? Questions of 7. Explain briefly the contribution of Mesopotamian in the field of architecture. The greatest achievement of the Mesopotamians was the invention of the art of writing. They were the first to invent a pictographic from the writing known as the cuneiform. Okay, the script contained picture-like symbols. They wrote from right to left. The symbols were written on wet clay tablets with a stylus, a sharp pen made out of reeds, bones, or metal. The tablet was then baked in the sun and fire. The pictograms on the tablets represented the object on an idea. Okay, next we have to write this short note. The religious belief of Mesopotamians. We have to know about the religion of the Mesopotamians. The Mesopotamians believed in many gods and goddesses. They also worshipped forces of nature like sun, moon, and rain. The chief Mesopotamians, they worshipped forces of nature like sun, moon, and rain. The chief Mesopotamians god were Onu. Onu is called the god of sky. Enlil, the god of wind. Enlil is called the god of wind. Reminder. Onu is the god of sky. Enlil, the god of wind. Enki, the god of earth. And News Saga, mother goddess. Okay. Next word. Each city was believed to be owned by a specific god or goddess. A temple devoted to the deity was located in the center of the city. Okay, this is the religious of the Mesopotamian. Okay. Next, Mathematical skills of Mesopotamians. The Mesopotamians were brilliant mathematicians. I have studied. I have teach you in the time of the passage, the time of the chapter. Okay, they counted in tens and sixties. They also used the finger 60 as the unit for measuring time. They were fast to divide a day into 24 hours, each hour into 60 minutes, and each minute into 60 seconds. Days and night were divided into two equal days and night were divided into two equal halves consisting of 12 hours each. This form of calculation has survived till today. It is the mathematical skill of Mesopotamians. Okay, look at carefully. Next question is, how do you know about the Code of Hammurabi? How do you know about the Code of Hammurabi? See here. You have to say here that Hammurabi was the one of the greatest king of Babylon. He compiled a code of law dealing with every aspect of human life. The code of law written with an on a stone slab was one of the oldest codes written. These laws protected the people, particularly the poor, the weak, children, slaves, and the women. Severe punishments were awarded to the law breakers. However, there were separate sheets of punishment according to the social position of the person. Okay. If ask the question, the Code of Hammurabi, you will discuss from here to here. It is the question. Next is, what led to decline the Mesopotamian civilization? Why was Mesopotamian civilization has declined? You have to say why was Mesopotamian civilization has declined? Okay. Decline of the Mesopotamian civilization. The land of Mesopotamia saw the rise and fall of the first great civilization in this world. It declined due to the following reasons. The river Euphrates unexpectedly changed its course, which forced in the inhabitants to move to other places. Frequent wars and attacked market. First point is key. The river Euphrates unexpectedly changed its course, which forced the inhabitants moved to other place. Second is frequent wars and attacks marked and day to the ancient civilization. Third point is winds and sandstorm eroded the walls and the monuments, burying the treasure of this great civilization under sandy desert plain. Okay, these three points you have to retain. Last, this is not necessary. Okay, and next we discuss here the fill in the blanks. B point, fill in the blanks. All exercise has discussed. Okay, 1 to 11 questions I have discussed. Next, I will discuss the fill in the blanks. The Greek word Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. I have said the Greek word Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. Okay, merchants, farmers, and artisans belong to the middle class of this society. Okay, I have say before it. Some of the Mesopotamian towns and cities included ziggurats, walled cities, and outlet town. Okay. Next, agriculture was the main occupation. I have said agriculture was the main occupation of the Mesopotamian civilization. Okay. Next, in the Mesopotamian civilization, the king was the chief priest. Okay. The Mesopotamian wrote from right to left. Okay. Hammurabi replied a code. Hammurabi compiled a code law. Hammurabi compiled a code law dealing with every aspect of human life. Okay, I have said this. Next question, I will go. The next question. State whether true or false. The Babylon's civilization was followed by Sumerian civilization. Is it true? No. False. Mesopotamian civilization known as Sumerian civilization. Okay, it is not Babylon. It will be Mesopotamian civilization was followed by Sumerian civilization. It is false, absolutely false. Second, in the Mesopotamian society, the rights of women were protected. It's true. The rights of women were protected. It's absolutely true. Okay, so it is true. Next, 3. The Mesopotamian people developed an excellent system of irrigation. Okay, excellent system of irrigation is absolutely true. It is true. Okay. 4. The Mesopotamians never worshipped forces of nature. No, it is false. False. Okay. The Mesopotamian used the figure of 40 for measuring time. It is absolutely false. Next, 6. In the Mesopotamian civilization, the king was believed to the direct representative, the god on earth. In the Mesopotamian civilization, the king was believed to be the direct representative of God on earth. It is true. Next, Mesopotamian was technically very advanced. It is absolutely true. The Mesopotamian was technically very advanced. It is absolutely true. Okay. Next, match the following. Match the following. Okay. Mesopotamia is called cradle of civilization. Cradle of civilization. Slaves is called the lowest class. Okay. Your Eridu is your Eridu was called as temple town. City state. What do you say? City state. NCC is a city state. Okay. Ziggurat. What is ziggurat? Ziggurat is step temple towers. Enki is number 6. Enki is the god of earth. Enlil হচ্ছে 7 is the god of wind. You know it. I have said it before. The time of studying the time of teaching the passage and the time of the discussing the questions. Okay. So are you enjoy my class? Please reply.